this is my prototype for software projects for my blog platform. So on the left is my user stories, and then on the right is my prototype. So when a unregistered user first loads up the blog platform, they have the option to either register or log in the top right corner, and they're able to view posts from other users. So we'll get into that later about the unregistered user, and we'll start off with the admin user. So when an admin user is to log in, they don't log in through the same as a user would. They would have a specific admin login, which is at the bottom there, and then they would put in their details, and then they would log in, and then they'd be able to get the admin dashboard. So going back to my user stories, one being is that they can view reported posts, for example, the dashboard that we can see in the prototype, and they're able to see the report reason. So they can read why the report was given from other users as well, see if anything extra was given. So, for example, more detail. So then there'll be various reports rather than one displayed right now. Is just to get an understanding of what it would look like. So they'd be in a list form, and the admin would take measures into what they think would be necessary in the report reason. In my next user story, it says about monitoring accounts to make sure the content is within guidelines. So when a post has been reported and it's violated the community guidelines, it is up to the admin to decide whether or not the post is to be removed. So if the post was to be removed, they would carry out that, and then they would get confirmation to say that the post has been deleted successfully. So then it'll be removed from the user's account, so they won't be able to see that post anymore, and then you can return back to the dashboard. So the next user story is about action taken in response to, let's say, repeated violations by a user. And so the admin reads the report reason and takes action into banning the user. So if the user was banned, it would pop up to say that the user was banned successfully on top underneath the reports. We scroll over to the next user stories being for the non-registered users. So if we sign out of the admin user and we go back to the main homepage for an unregistered user, it goes back to the user story to say that the non-registered user, let's say Miss, is able to view the publicly shared posts on the platform, so which are at the top here. And they're able to browse it and see general ones. However, they can't carry any actions on the page, for example, reporting or viewing the full post. So if they were to, for example, view the full post, they would be directed into the login page. But if we go back to that and say that they want to report a post that they're seeing at the top, if they press report, then they're still redirected to the login page. So then this goes back to say about my second user story, so about the reporting. So they're still directed into login. So they can either log in if they already have an account, but if they're completely new and don't have an account whatsoever on the blog platform, they have the option at the bottom that says don't have an account. They can register, and then they need to fill out their details to register, which is displayed there. So this goes back to my user story on the left about option to sign up to create an account to become a registered user. So they're required to type their username, email, and password confirmation. And then for that to be carried out, they need to accept to the terms and conditions. If they once they've registered, they can then be able to get a notification to say that they're registered successfully at the top. But let's say they put in incorrect details, it'll pop up to say either that the email's not valid, or that the username's not unique, or the password needs to be matching, or it needs to be this set amount. But we can go back to the fact that if they are registered, then they're noted down, so then they can go back to the login page and then put in their details and then be able to log in without any problems. And then when they're logged in, they're able to see a welcome user. So it wouldn't be user, it'll be going to the username of the user who's logged in with their account username. So the user bit would change to the user's account username. Yeah, so if we go back to signing out and try to go back to the home page, and let's say the unregistered user wanted to create a post, which is this icon at the top. If they wanted to create a post and they clicked on it, they'd still be directed to the login page, since only registered users are able to contribute to the platform by saving their post. If we move over to the registered user stories, so let's say Missy is able to log in, then their username will change to Missy because it'll automatically do it through the process I'll be doing later on. And they can interact on the publicly shared post. So now, if they want to view the full post, they'll be able to see the full post in depth. So if there's more in the description box or more in the title, they'll be able to see that further. So it gives them more interactive onto the post compared to a unregistered, non-registered user. So it makes them more involved into the content. So for the system to be able to see that they can view the full post, they do need to be registered. So then this goes back to the next user story saying that they can interact by creating a blog post. So if we go back to the homepage and we want to click on the post icon, we are able to pop in the details of what we want to talk about for our post, and then we're able to submit the post, and then it pops up to show us about the details of the post that we've just submitted. So then it makes sure that the post is saved, let's say on the database, so it's saved for other users to be able to see the same post that the users posted. So Missy. And then if we go back to the next registered story about having the ability to edit and update their post on the blog platform, if we go into my accounts, they can see, let's say they've done 4 posts already and they can see the 4 posts that they've posted and they want to edit the account. Then for them to be able to edit it, they'll just click on this edit icon and then it'll let them edit the post. Once they've carried that out, they can submit it, and then brings them back to show them the new post that's been edited and updated. And so when they go back to the account, the post that they've done, it would be able to have the new changes applied, and so it'll be effectively be able to be seen. If we go over to the next user story, having the ability to remove the post on the blog platform. So now this trash can, let's say the user clicks on the trash can, it confirms that the post has been successfully deleted from the account, and then they have the option to either go back to the account or create a new post. But if we want to double check that the post has been deleted from the account, we'll click back on the icon and then it updates to show that the post has definitely been deleted. So this ensures that the acceptance test to say that when viewing the post on the account, when removing it, it's carried out and done and updated. So if the button isn't pressed, no action will be taken place because you're not trying to remove the post. So if we go back to the last 2 user stories where it talks about logging into the account and logging out of the account. So when we started off the registered users, we were able to see the login into the account, making sure that the username and password were correct to let them log into their account. And if it wasn't, they are to try again to make sure that their login details are correct. Now, for the registered user to log out of their account, it would be by pressing pretty much the sign out button. And when we press the sign out button, it allows us to go back to the login page for us to log back in, or register with another account or anything like that. But that's pretty much the prototype.